You like that? Rubber banding. For those who don't know, rubber banding is the phenomena in racing games and, other video games where if you suck, the AI will suck too. But if you're the GOAT, the AI will also be the GOAT. So it really depends on your skill level. Now, someone like me, someone who's above the GOAT, I would say I'm around here. I've never lost a single race in my life. So I don't really understand what rubber banding meant. Maybe for the people that aren't as experienced as me. Today, I realized something. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 came out, right? And I talked to my girlfriend and I was like, holy shit, you like those car racing arcade games? Well, this is for you. Deep down, I kind of thought, okay, she's going to try this for 5-10 minutes and then she's going to be like, this is too fucking hard. What do these buttons do? And so she would throw the controller down and then go back to reading her book, shopping, whatever the fuck they do. I was very wrong. In fact, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 has become one of her favorite games. Why is that? Well, I was right. She opened the game, she hops in her pink Porsche Boxster, and she proceeds to hit every imaginable wall ever. I'm talking about walls you didn't even know existed, right? Cars, walls, trees. There weren't people in the game, but you might as well put people because they were hitting everything. I'm sorry, babe. It's just the truth. You're not going to see this anyways. But here's the thing. In these races, to progress, you have to finish only third place. You don't actually have to win. And I'm watching her just hit every obstacle ever, while fourth place, fifth place, third place, they slow down. It seems like they're kind of waiting for her to catch up. And so she eventually got the hang of it, in that first race that is, and she had like a 10-15 stretch, a second stretch of, good racing. And she catches up to fifth place, and then fourth place, and then gets third place. Next thing you know, there's around a mile left, and instead of giving up because she should be 2 minutes behind a car, she actually finishes third place, progresses, and fucking celebrates like I beat Sabo or something. Like, she was hooked, and now she loves the game because the cars let her do that. So why is rubber banding so controversial? For the seasoned gamers, some people like it, and then some people think it's just a game cheating, being cheap. Oh, it's not real difficulty. I'm so good at the game, they have to do some bullshit coding formula to keep up with me. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's more than that, and I think rubber banding is actually one of the most important parts in racing games, arcade racing games. So I'll tell you a little bit more. I'll give you a few reasons on why I think they do this. Next slide. Woo. Okay, this feels like an actual compressor on my head, so let's try and get through these quickly. I found 3 reasons on why games blatantly use rubber banding, fake cheating, some will say. Number 1 is money. Now, excuse me, vacuum. Money, some might think, oh, it's not a big deal. Why don't you just make a passionate project, right? Guess what happens when games make passionate projects? They go broke because only a certain amount of people are going to like it. And, it's just not going to be able to have enough money to support itself. So these game developers, when they launch a game, let alone a AAA game, they want as many people to be able to hop on and experience what they've built, okay? So in Need for Speed Hot Pursuit's example, my girlfriend doesn't play racing games, but they made it so she could enjoy it by making it easy. It's like going to that arcade and playing those games where sometimes the car turns for you. You're always in the mix, and that's what keeps the adrenaline going. So by using the rubber band strategy, not only do the people that suck get to enjoy, the people that are really good also get a challenge. Which brings me to my next point. Fun. This one's going to be a bit controversial. 5-6 years ago, I played the shit out of Gran Turismo Sport, okay? There were races where I won by 2-3 minutes. I don't remember them at all, right? Like, it's just like, I just zone out and I'm doing my, Tsukuba circuit laps, thinking about other shit. But there's races that I still remember to these days. There's 2 races that I got so fucked over with rubber banding that I got so pissed in the moment, but looking back at it, right? Because I thought I was so good, high and mighty in this game. These races got my heart beating, got me sweating, got me focusing, hitting the apex on everything, putting on Eurobeat, trance, whatever music it is. That was so fun. In a campaign where, if you think you're good enough, you usually breeze by. Here were some races that really slapped me in the face. And it's been 5 years and I still remember about it. It's the Ferrari F50 I was in. We were doing Monza and I was racing some I think it might have been a 60s, the Le Mans Ferrari, the old school. And that motherfucker was so hard to catch up to, but I finally did, and it came down to the last corners. Like, the intensity of that race, I still remember. It was neck and neck, and I had to play defensive. It felt like an online match, and I loved that. And number 3 is fair. I actually think rubber banding is a little more fair. When you think about people just starting out, they're gonna get royally fucked, right? I mean, if it's their first racing game, they're gonna get overwhelmed. They're gonna be like, oh shit, this isn't fair. The computer's programmed to drive a certain way, and I think if you're really good at the game, it's gonna get so boring, and it's gonna be a bit unfair. You spend so much time practicing getting good at the game, just for these CPUs who just pull up. They're a little innocent. They're just gonna get ran over by you. I think it's fair if done right. Going back to Need for Speed Hot Pursuit's example, my girlfriend was coming in 3rd place a lot of the times. What does that mean? Well, actually, like I said, 5th place, 4th place, 3rd place, they kind of waited back when she was crashing, hitting every wall in the existence of the universe. But 1st place, and to some degree 2nd place, they were very far ahead. Okay, so it was almost like the game was saying, listen, we're going to let you keep the rush to feel 3rd place. But we're not going to overextend ourselves and be like, okay, you can crash anywhere you want and still win. It seems to me that you do actually have to somehow get better. There's an incentive to get 2nd place and then to really get good to get that 1st place. So I think if it's done correctly, if it invites the door for progression, but doesn't just, bend over to let you win anything you want, I think that's really fair. And vice versa. If you're really good at the game, right? You can easily progress, right? And it's up to you to really want to push yourself to have that fun experience to get first. Because what's the point? You get a racing game. I'm sorry, I'm not playing racing games to coast, right? I'm not playing whatever racing game there is just to zone out, enjoy laps 7 out of 10, and just think about whatever the birds and bees in my head, whatever the fuck, the voices, Savo's mixtape. Like, I'm here to sweat. I'm here to go, oh shit, here we go, last lap, adrenaline. So I think it is important. I really do. So looking at those 3, I want to talk about another game. And I think this game is easily the most popular racing game. You already probably have it in your mind. But it's iconic. And I don't think people realize it's a certain type of rubber banding that people just ignore. But they crafted it perfectly. It's beautiful. It's the greatest recipe ever. So we'll talk about it in the next slide. Okay, call my marker collection Nico Cotto Avocados diet because I got no fucking greens. Jesus. Did you guess it? It's Mario Kart. I'm not talking about Assetto Corsa. I'm talking about the game every single human being knows. Every single human being plays because it's so competitive, because it's so fun, because anyone can win. And I'm not talking about those absolute goddamn incels, no offense, who just speed run, find these little shortcuts. It is cool. But you ruin the fucking game, alright? I don't want to hop on and see this guy go, oh, I'm going to fucking power boost into the grass and then deflect off. Shut the fuck up, okay? This is a game you play at slumber parties. When you were a kid, mom orders pizza, you're all hyped and you guys go down and try to do Rainbow Road tournaments. It's fun. But guess what? It's online version, right? You're playing against other people, but it's still rubber banding. You're first place. Woo! Oh my god, I'm first place. Whether you're Yoshi, Toad. My guy was Dry Bones because I like to stand out. Okay, so let's talk about it. Position by position, 1 through 12, the vibes. First place, you're getting jack shit. We're talking banana peels, just simple defensive weapons. If someone's got a red shell, congrats, you can use a banana peel. This is usually first place, second place, third place. I'm pretty sure second and down have a chance for red shells, to really spice it up. And then you enter around 4th, 5th, 6th. That's when you get, the occasional mushroom. You get that mushroom that lets you boost somewhere, really capitalize on a certain part. You get that mushroom, you get the trio of red shells, green shells to really, start building some momentum or even just having defense. And then we talk about 5th place, 6th place, 7th place. These are a lot of the pandemonium positions, right? You can have that lightning that just strikes everyone. You can use a boo to steal someone's item. A lot of the things, the blue shell, the infamous blue shell, you shoot it up there, first place is cooked. All of a sudden everyone's like, oh my god, I'm gonna win. But here's the fun one. For those who suck at Mario Kart, you're last place, right? Or like second to last. You don't just quit. You don't just throw the controller and say, I give up, I lose. You know why? Because of the goddamn rocket. For all those gambling addicts out there, you are hoping you get that bullet rocket thing. That shit will poop you up all the way back up into the heat of the battle, heat of the race, right? Even not the rocket. There's the unlimited mushroom, the golden queen mushroom, whatever it is. You could just spam boosts for like 10, 15, 20 seconds. You can get the star, which makes you invincible and faster, right? There's so many different kinds of items across the whole game. So the whole point is, you're last place, you can easily go right back into the action. So that's what gets everyone into this game. And that's what they were able to perfect. It wasn't a game about skill all the time. It was just more of a game about, when it came to the last moments, it's always still gonna be exciting. Whether you're in 7th place, hoping to get those mushrooms, whether you're last place, thinking a rocket can change it all. And yeah, 1st place, 2nd place, they're already having so much fun. They don't need the fun items because they're thinking about, the podium. So that's what Mario Kart does so well. And next time you think about complaining about rubber banding, consider that. Consider the fact that it creates so many memories, so much fun if done right. Now you might think, oh, it's not actually, correlating to the cars. Well, yeah, the cars don't speed up when you're in 12th, but the items pretty much, it just counts. In fact, it's more blatant. So there's Mario Kart, right? An absolute great example. Let me talk about a game that actually doesn't have any rubber banding. In fact, it has something else that's a little different. All right, so I'm not sure if every Midnight Club avoids rubber banding, but this is pivotal. I think there's some games that, regardless how fun it is, would suck with rubber banding. I think the fun about Midnight Club is you get thrown into this shitstorm and you try and figure out how to catch up to the opponents. They're not even worried about you. They're racing their own race. If you stop your car, they're not going to slow down. They'll go. They will go, okay? And so I think that's really interesting because up to this point, arcade games are better with rubber banding. But if this game that throws a shit ton of traffic at you, a lot of different obstacles, jumps, always kept the action to your absolute side, if you can never look back and think, oh my god, I'm coast clear, 1st place, it just won't be that fun. I think there's a level of fun in this where if you're dominating the opponents, you feel rewarded. You don't feel like they're bending over, it's too easy. You actually think like, I figured out the correct route. I figured out, how to avoid traffic, to write the right card, different shortcuts, right? I think it rewards you, but it also hits you for not knowing. So there's this learning curve thing, right? So that was just a quick example of a game that, rubber banding, you don't want it. You don't want it at all. Now, finally, I just want to talk the overall significance, the controversy, etc. of rubber banding as a whole, and what I think about it in terms of implementing it. Alas, we're at my little wish list, my factor list. 3 factors that I think a game absolutely needs to put rubber banding in. I mean, we're talking about more sales, more fun, more competition, okay? Number 1 is AAA. I don't give a shit what game it is. If you're building a AAA racing game, you need rubber banding. Okay, you're gonna put such a big budget towards it, you better hope more people play it. Because for all those 2% of people whining about, oh, there's skill, oh, there's no skill. Let them cry on Reddit or whatever the fuck forum they're on. You want to make enough money to then build a second one, to then really get that community going. Because guess what? A lot of casual gamers, if they're just going to get dicked down the first few games, they're just going to delete the game. They're like, I'm not playing this shit. And you don't want that. You spend so much time on a game, you might as well implement a type of feature that lets everyone stay immersed in the action. Number 2, a game with a good single player focus. We're not talking about some online, game where the campaign's an afterthought. I think it's good when you talk about stories, like The Run or even Hot Pursuit. You want to talk about games that always keep you in on the action, right? Like you are driving and, you're playing against AI that are always on your neck. So then you you kind of like have like this movie in your head. You're like, oh shit, like it's gonna go to the end. It's like to the brink, last half a mile. Holy shit, I gotta lock in here. Regardless, that's really fun because you're not playing against real people. Playing against real people is fun, okay? Whatever it is. If you're doing campaign, people are gonna be catching up to you slowly. It creates a little more personality. It makes it a little more fearful. And then finally, oh my god, my spoon. My spoon's wiggling. That's not good. Finally, linear/simple. This does not mean easy games. This means games that aren't open world like Midnight Club 2, because I think those games on its own are rewarding in different ways, like I mentioned earlier. I'm talking about games like Hot Pursuit, Project Gotham Racing, games where like there's so many different, games where, you know, you have one route. You're pretty much just racing one way and you have to lock in. You have to just like avoid traffic, all that. It's up to you. But the game just doesn't bend over, make it too easy, because the linear games really suffer from a lack of rubber banding. If you're just too good, you're never gonna feel a challenge. So simple games are made way more exciting with that artificial cheating, okay? And you know, it's a negative word when you think about artificial cheating, but I think it really unlocks the beauty and the creativity of a man or a woman's brain. Like they really think they're being pushed to the brink, right? They have to adapt, they have to lock in. A single crash would ruin their chances, and I think that's the beauty of it. So this has been rubber banding. For those who still don't know about rubber banding, just check out other things. I recommend the games that I talked about. Of course, you know Mario Kart, but that's it for me. And